My name is Alex, and I tell this story not for justification, but for understanding. Understanding that life is not a series of perfect moments, but a constant struggle for happiness. It all began on a sunny spring day in 2019 when I met Sue. We were young and full of hope, confident that our union was an unbreakable fortress. Sue was my best friend, my love, and my inspiration. We dreamed of the future, made plans, and discovered something new in each other every day. However, as in any marriage, small cracks began to appear over time. I didn't pay much attention to them, writing them off as trivialities, but they only grew bigger. A few years after the wedding, I started noticing changes in Sue. She became more distant. Her eyes, which once shone with happiness, now hid a secret. I tried to talk to her, but each time she found excuses. Tired, too much work, everything's fine. At that moment, I didn't realize it was the beginning of the end. One evening, when she stayed late at work longer than usual, I accidentally stumbled upon her phone. There was a conversation with another man. My heart clenched with pain and confusion. I couldn't believe this was happening to us. It was like a stab in the back you never expect from the closest person. From that moment, everything changed. I couldn't shake the thought that the person I loved had betrayed me. My trust was shattered, and every day I wrestled with anger and resentment. We tried talking, but every conversation ended in an argument. Sue explained it was a mistake, that she lacked attention, but I couldn't hear her. I was engulfed in my pain. Our children, unaware of anything, continued living in their world, and only their smiles helped me slightly distract from what was happening. They became our bridge, a link that allowed us to start communicating again. Several months passed before I realized I couldn't continue living this way. I loved Sue and wanted to save our marriage. We sought help from a family therapist. It wasn't easy, but I knew this was our chance. Each session was a step towards understanding that our problems were deeper than they seemed at first glance. Sue spoke about her fears and insecurities, which she hid behind a facade of well-being. In turn, I realized that I was too absorbed in work and stopped noticing her needs. We started working on ourselves and our relationship. It was a tough journey, but we knew we had to go through it together. Time passed, and I began to notice how our communication became more sincere and open. We relearned to laugh and enjoy the little things. I understood that forgiveness is not a weakness, but a strength that allows us to move forward. We cannot change the past, but we can learn from it and become better. Our children, oddly enough, became our teachers. Their immediacy and ability to forgive inspired us. We tried to spend more time with them, play, and just be there. Every day was a step towards a new life. Sue changed. She became more open and honest. I changed, too. I learned to listen and hear her. We began to rebuild our future brick by brick. I was no longer afraid to trust because I knew our happiness was the result of our efforts. This story is not about betrayal, but about restoration, about how sometimes we lose the dearest to understand its true value. I am grateful for the experience we went through because it made us stronger and closer to each other. In the end, life is not a perfect picture, but a combination of mistakes and victories that make us who we are. We learn from our mistakes and become better. And most importantly, we learn to forgive because without forgiveness, there is no future.